Hello there, my friends. Amy Friese reporting to you today on the evening of Monday, September the 16th, 2013, for one of my final wrap-up videos of my Ironman Wisconsin 2013 journey. So it has been 1 week since Ironman Wisconsin, which was last Sunday on the 8th. And I've done my wrap-up video, so what I want to do from here is to give you 3 additional videos of my experience for each event. So one for the swim, thus the blue, one for the bike, and then finally one for the run. So what I'll do is I'll just break it down and just let you know how my experience went and what to expect when you do an Ironman, and hopefully you'll get some information from it and laugh a little and learn a lot. So the swim, oh boy, okay, I'll tell you, first and foremost, it was the one event that I was most fearful of. I am a strong runner, I am a strong biker, and although my sign is Aquarius, I was scared of the water. To tell you the truth, I'm not quite sure what I was afraid of. I didn't think I would drown. I don't know if it was something that I was afraid of, making a mistake or looking funny in front of people, which is really hard to do when you're swimming with hundreds of other people or even tens of other people in the water. But I will tell you right now, the one approach that worked the best for me on race day and leading the week into race day during taper week was just to relax and not over emotionalize everything. And that's one thing that I am going to continue to talk about whenever I mention Ironman Wisconsin, because honestly that's the one thing that was by far the most empowering and the most powerful. So for instance, we got into Madison, my friend Janet and I, who also competed and finished Ironman, on Friday. And so we drove from Milwaukee and pretty much just registered and then got our wetsuits on and went into Lake Monona. And I went into that water just like I would have any other swim. Put on the wetsuit, got in the water, said, okay, where are we going to swim? We're going to swim from here to there to there to there, and we're going to come back and we're out. And it felt really good to be in the water because I hadn't been in the water since Monday. Yeah, so that was about 5 days, which typically I, during training, was swimming 2 minimum, sometimes 3 times a week. But it was an open water swim, as you know, for Ironman, and, or maybe you don't know, for Ironman, but just took everything into consideration. So then on race day, when you have all this other stuff going on, and you have your day of bags and your special needs bags, and people are, you know, dropping you off, or you're dropping yourself off, there's a lot to consider. So walking into the water, you know, we all have our wetsuits on, but actually let me take a step back here. So race morning, let me give you just a little snippet of what to expect. For Madison, we got to Monona Terrace a little after 5, dropped off. What did we do first? Oh my gosh, we walked to Monona Terrace. Oh yes, double checked our T1, T2 bags to make sure that it had what we needed, and we dropped off some stuff, and then went to the bike and pumped up the tires, put my water bottles on there, and any fuel that I hadn't put on before, because Simone, my bike, had been there since Saturday, and then went to body marking. Deb Reiser marked us. That was awesome. And special needs, dropped those things off, and then made our way down to the water. So about an hour before I got in the water, maybe 45 minutes at the least, I ate a Larabar. I want to say it was a blueberry Larabar. However, it might have been a chocolate cherry torte pie one. That's my favorite. So put on the wetsuit then at about half hour before. So gun went off at 7, got wetsuits on at 6:30. And still very calm, breathing, maybe a tiny bit of jitters, but it was more like, okay, let's get this game party started sort of thing. Got the wetsuits on, got in line. There was a very slow shuffle to get into the water because there was a lot of athletes, and Janet and I walked together as far as we could. Saw our friends Nash and Nick, which were awesome, gave them hugs and kisses, and cried a little bit just to get those last little jitters off, and just out of joy to see them. And then had the cap on, put my earplugs in because I use earplugs. I don't like to get water in my ears, and goggles on, and we're in the water. And I was in the water for maybe 2 minutes before the gun went off, or the cannon went off. So I went past the ramp on the far side, and then just paddled water on my back just a teeny bit, feet down, and then chest down, legs back. Cannon went off, and I just started swimming, and I really wish I could be more elaborate about that, but honestly, I was like, okay, I've done this 100 times. I know what to do. Put my face down, focused on lifting my chest into and down into the water, but my hips up, and then I do a bilateral breathing, which means I breathe every third stroke, which was very beneficial in those choppy waters in Monona Terrace, and I just kept going. So I just kept telling myself, relax, just keep swimming, find your place, find your rhythm, keep the breathing even, and just keep going. Because it's a mass start, so everyone's going at the same time. So I had decided ahead of time to count all of the buoys. So there were 8 buoys going out and 9 coming back of the big buoys, and then they had little buoys in between. On the way out in the first corner were yellow, and on the way back in the last corner were orange, and then the corner buoys were red. So I knew what to look for. I did my sighting before the breath. So, okay, bear with me here as I do this. So as I'm reaching in, and I put my thumb right, and I reach in and I turn, I'm stroking this way. So then when I would come to breathe, I'd look and then come down into my breath. Sometimes I would breathe, and then as I was coming, I'd sight quick, depending upon where the waves were. I had to just do my best, and I just did my best. I drank a lot of water while I was doing the swim, but I was surprisingly calm. Door County, as I'd mentioned before, I was very nervous, very scared, and I spent a lot of energy being concerned about affecting other people's swims and making them mad and being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So this time, when I got grabbed, when I got punched, not that bad, it's not that horribly bad at all, or if I got grabbed, or if I got touched, or if I cut somebody off, I just had to go, let it go. Just let it go, because I didn't do that for Door County, and that's where all the energy went. So, you know, like I said, I just kept swimming, and when I would find myself going off course, if I waited, let's just say that I waited like 5 to 7 breaths before I sighted, and I was doing this, then I sighted every 3 to 4, and it might have been more than I wanted to, but considering the water conditions, like I said, they were choppy, I had to keep doing it. So I just swam from buoy to buoy. My back never got sore or tired, which I was very thankful for, which means I was keeping my chest down while sighting. It was just a good mix. You have to learn how to kind of feel it out. So I was having a lot of fun in the swim, honestly, and we were moving around because it was wavy, and I just decided to let go, and like my mom says, let go and let God, and I let myself get kind of churned into the water. It was pretty cathartic. I was very surprised with my approach. On the back straight, however, it was about a mile or a little bit more or less, I'm not sure, but my left arm started getting really tired, and it wasn't tired like I'm not going to cooperate. It was tired like I don't remember what to do. Now, where do I go after you're where now? Do I go out to the side, or do I come? So, and I'm right-handed, so I had to continuously tell myself, rotate, twist, dig in, pull, and even, because what was happening was that I was pulling more with my right than my left. That's why I was zigzagging all over the place. And I got frustrated a few times. I got frustrated when people cut me off. I get frustrated when I cut people off, but like I said, I just had to let it go. And swimming from buoy to buoy and having those focuses, that was the most important. When I did get scared, maybe a handful of times, 2 or 3 times, I never got really like 1 out of 10, like 9 scared like I did in Door County. I maybe got 4 out of 10 scared. I just took a breath and just slowed down. So that swim for Ironman was a lot slower than I wanted. I finished in 150. My goal was 140, but all things considered, it's okay. My goals for next time are to get more speed work into my training and then finish it out. So I got to, getting back to Ironman Wisconsin here on that third turn, came sooner than I thought. I expected one more big buoy. So then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm almost done. That very last stretch it felt like forever. So here, let me see if I can show you. So you come into the deep water, you go out, and then you come down a little bit, and then you go way, okay, I'm gonna go back a little bit, and then you go way, keep going, and then you turn, and then you turn. So it's an angle back. So the angle was a long time. I could hear Mike, the announcer, talking. I could start to see the crowd. I could see the finish arch. And I was taught when I swim, when I race, to always dig for the ground. That's when I stand up, but the volunteers were telling me to stand up before then. So thank God the canoes were there and the kayaks were there and people on the standing surfboards were there. And that helped really well with sighting. And I'd like to thank all of the volunteers. Thank you so much. And especially those volunteers that wore really bright colors. That was incredibly helpful. So please continue to wear bright colors when you're in the water. Anyway, for that fact, it was super duper helpful, and I was very happy about that. I did find myself speeding up at the end of the swim because I was excited. Not that I wanted to be like done. Oh my gosh, I have to get out of the water. I was just excited to have accomplished the swim. I knew as soon as I finished passing that first buoy that I would finish the swim. I just knew it. The determination, a little stubbornness, but the will to succeed and the will to finish were very strong. So tired left arm or not, I just kept going, and I kicked from my hips, and I reached, and I pulled through the water, and I breathed every third breath. I never had to go to my 2 counted breath, and I just sighted a lot more frequently at the end. So I probably sighted like maybe every 2 or 3 breaths instead of 3 or 4 or 5, but that's okay. And so then finally I get out of the water and took off those goggles and took off my swim cap, got to the strippers and saw Jenny Thorpe and was so happy to see her. She's like, Amy! And I said, Jenny! And I had all these things and I was so excited to see her. I hugged her and I forgot what to do. And I'm like, what do I do? And they're like, drop your stuff and sit on the ground. And so you sit on the ground and you have the wetsuit down by your hips and then they just rip it off. Thank God you have your wetsuit or your swimsuit or your tri-suit underneath. I had my swimsuit on, thank God. Grabbed my suit, jogged a little bit, saw Dave, my coach, up on the helix with this huge, ginormous congratulatory smile, which was the best thing to see right out of the water, short of the shore, and then walked my way up the helix and saw lots of people that I knew, lots of people I didn't, but I walked and I walked and I walked, and about halfway through I was like, oh, okay, my heart rate's down. I better start running, and then ran into transition and got ready for the bike. So all in all, the swim, definite thumbs up. I could have swam more. I felt like I could have been out there longer, but you know what? Hey, an Ironman only lets you swim for 2.4 miles. So I guess I'll just have to practice and do some more endurance swimming later. But that is my wrap up for my Ironman Wisconsin swim section of Madison, Wisconsin's Ironman, which just happened on September the 8th. And I will be giving updates and videos for next the bike and then the run. So Amy Friese, checking out. Check me out on Facebook and on Twitter, Amy Friese, AMYFRIESE. Or you can check out my website, which is fearlessnutritionllc.com. Or you can shoot me an email at fearlessnutritionllc@gmail.com. Heck, you can even give me a ring at 414-312-7076. Until we meet again for this next video, my friends. Amy Friese, check it out. Take care. And remember to eat smart, move strong, and live fearless. Swim fearless too, just for fun. Okay, talk to you later, my friends. Bye-bye.